everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Phalaenopsis orchids. It's also known as a moth orchid because of the shape of the flowers. If you look at the flowers, it's like a looks like a little moth. I guess that's why it's called moth orchid. In Greek, Phalaena means or moth, and opsis means appearance. So I guess that's where it gets its name from, Phalaenopsis. So of course, it's a very tropical plant. It's very easy to grow. They come in different shapes. They're mini, they're compact, so easy to grow. You can put it in a windowsill and not too hot light, but where it gets like a lot of light, bright light is good, but not too hot. And you shouldn't be touching the window, so it could burn their leaves. They put out a lot of flowers during growing season, and it put out a long spike. Sometimes in the miniature variety, the spike is shorter. They put out like a multiple of flowers, and it puts out its buds. It grows. This one's almost completely done. So this one you can see the buds are. It keeps putting out more buds. So it should come out like this towards the tip, and you can leave them staked so they stand up, or you can leave them arched, however you want it. In the wild, the plant is pretty much growing like this on the tree, so the flowers arch, bend downwards anyway. Now this is the root, the crown of the plant. When you're watering, be careful not to get too much water in there. Even if you do, just take a towel or a paper towel or something and just wipe it off to get all the water in, because if you leave the water in there, it tends to rot. Like I said, in the wild, and the plants are growing like this, so it grows like this. So the tip, no matter how much water you put on them, it just drips down and it doesn't collect in the root, because that's one of the main causes of the root rot, and crown rot. And once there's a crown rot, the new shoot, the new leaves that come out of here, it's not able to produce more shoots, so it could die unless it try to produce kikis, which they do produce at the base of the plant, or sometimes even on these spikes. Now once these spikes are done, you do not need to cut them. You can force them into either blooming again, or you could make them put out another kiki. Like if you notice this little like a little lump over here, like a little bump, that's where the node is. If you cut it a little above that, like a half inch or an inch above that, this could initiate either a new spike, or it can put out new kikis. And kiki is a baby plant. They also produce aerial roots, which some people either like it or they don't. I kind of like the aerial roots. I like. I just like to see them putting up roots. That means I don't know. For me, it feels like they're doing really good. This one, the flowers are already spent, so I had to cut it down. As far as these are, of course, tropical plants. They come from India, Nepal, I think, Taiwan, southern China, and some tropical parts of Australia. They can be put. The daytime temperature for this plant is between 70 to 80 degrees in the summer. It initiates faster growth, and give them a little cooler nights, about 50 to 60 degrees, especially in the cooler months before fall, like around fall time, so that they could initiate flowering. A drop in temperature is usually very useful if you want to initiate the flowering, but do not do that for the little plants, because they are very small and they cannot flower at this time. This is a little kiki that I transplanted into little bark media. They're not ready to flower anytime soon. They probably at least a year or so. Now I have them in a small pot right now, but maybe next year or so they should get bigger, and I should pot it in a bigger pot. Right now it's actually in a medium for bark, and it should be very porous, the media. They do like to be watered because they do not have any pseudobulbs or any storage mechanisms, but you have to water them, but make sure you don't overwater it, because of course the main culprit for your plants to die is root rot, and that could be from overwatering, or maybe even sometimes from underwatering, which causes the plant leaves to shrivel. This was a rescue plant that I got from one of the grocery stores from around here, so I'm trying to see if I can bring it back to life. It did put out this aerial root, but nothing much going around here. Now, if you look at the base, you see I have to repot it. It's got all these things have to come out. These are little sheets, and if you look in, if you do not, you might see any little insects like the white mealy bugs. What I do is I take a cotton swab with the alcohol on it and just wipe it down, or you can spray it with insecticidal soap. So this needs water mostly all the time, but do not, like I said, overwater it because that could cause the root rot. Fertilize it during the growing season, which is in the summer. Use a high nitrogen base, the 10-10-10, or if you wanna, like when it's done growing big and you wanna like start initiating the flowers, then start with the high phosphorus about 10-30-20 in the moment towards the end, so that it'll put out flowers to initiate more flowers. But remember, it needs a nighttime temperature drop of at least 10 to 15 degrees at least. So humidity, as far as humidity goes, it likes to have, of course, all orchids are from tropical plants, they like humidity, but higher the humidity, remember, you need a lot of air movements. You cannot have stagnant air around it. It could, it's not helpful for it. And the balance, of course, the balanced fertilizer, and that's about it. As far as the flowers go, if you cut over here and initiate like over here or even around here where there's another growth, if you cut it somewhere around here, you see the growth around there. If you cut it over here, it could probably put out another spike, and once the flowers are done, it could put another spike, and you could have flowers almost all year round. Or you can have, it could produce flowers or kikis are of course the baby plants, which you just, once they get a little bigger, you cut them off and then you put it in a little pot. That's what I did to this one. I do not know the name of this particular variety of Phalaenopsis, so I just put it as a kiki plant in the label. This particular one is, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll just show you the label. And they have all grocery stores. If you go in there, you'll see a ton of orchids of Phalaenopsis. Either you like them or you don't, and I'm not too crazy about these, though I do have some in my collection. Miltonias, of course, my favorite, and Cattleyas. This particular one is this flower. So it's all, this is Doritorpus, but it's, I don't know how to say it, but it also needs the same growing conditions as the Phalaenopsis. So with the keeping the leaves, it's got some white spot. I think it's from water marks, so it's not any insects or anything. So I can use like a wet towel to wipe it off and get all the marks out. I've seen some people using like a little water with a dab of a splash of lemon juice in it, and then using to wipe it. I never tried it, but you can try it if you want. I've seen people doing that, but I haven't tried it, so I'm not too sure how to do that. I've also seen somebody put a splash of milk in the water and use that to clean the Phalaenopsis. Anyway, these aerial roots that come to the base of the plant, I kind of like them. You can cut it off if you want, but they do help the plant. They collect the humid air from around it, and then it helps for this growth. I like it, but if you don't keep it moist, if the humidity is low, they could dry up on you. So misting it often is good. Keep it in the bathroom by windowsill where it's humid. That'll help it too. But like I said, do not put it in direct light, because if the leaves do touch the windows, it also depends on what time of the year. In the summer months, no, don't do that. Don't let it touch the windowsill, because it might be too hot. But depending on what window it's facing, the east window usually gets a lot of light. Southern exposure is good, but do not let it touch the window. Keep it like 3 inches away. That might be good, but watch it. Make sure it's not getting burnt, because it could get sunburned, and it doesn't have any soda bulbs to store water, so it could dry out too. Humidity is very good. This is like a monopodial orchid. It grows upwards. The new growth, like I said, comes from the middle of this, and it produces more new leaves. If you see, this one's got the new leaves coming out. Here's another one with the new leaves. So just keep it clean, just keep it humid, water, air movement, fertilize it when needed. Do not over fertilize, because any plant, when you over fertilize, it could cause some damage to the roots. Over watering is another reason for these roots to dry out or root rot. Better to leave it underwater than overwatered, because it could always bounce back up. Once the roots are rotted, it's hard to, for me anyway, it was hard to bring it back to life. So that's about it. Hope you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to watch more channels. Thank you.